At TSR, we believe that a woman's place is wherever she places her trail. Welcome! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, celebrating Women's History Month by doing what we do best, bringing Hollywood Homer on a budget. If you'll recall, last month I went up to the 2nd Avenue Thrift Superstore in Union, and despite my reservations about that place, that store left me totally bugging on its first tryout for TSR. I walked away from there with 17 items, the biggest haul of this channel's history, and a whole smorgasbord of reasons for you guys to stay tuned to TSR throughout 2023 for some majorly awesome reviews ahead. And I say totally bugging for a reason because this was the very first item I encountered when I walked through the doors and turned the corner, the Clueless party game. Despite me being somewhat clueless about Clueless, I'm not the biggest Clueless fan out there, I recognize that almost everybody and their sister cherishes Clueless.
IF.
Oh, be quiet before I take that jacket and burn it. So I had to pick this up regardless. So what we have here for Milder Games is a party game for 3 to 6 players ages 17 and up about your friends, fashion, school, crushes, and all things Clueless. You'll be totally bugging. I mean, 33% off $249, and it's kind of odd for me to say 33% discounts. Only beginning to scratch the surface of what 2nd Avenue Thrift Superstore could do for me and you if you happen to live near one. That's some majorly minor ducats, folks. At this time, let's go on over to Wilder Games for gameplay demonstration.
To set up the game, take out the spinner and separate the cards into 4 decks. 1 pile for each minigame. Mismatch, life or death, debate class, and party questions. Give each player a report card.
Picture this. You're Cher and you just received your report card. And your grades? They're not great. Fortunately, just like Cher, you know that this report card is just the first draft and nothing is final until you work your magic. As you play the game, you'll have the opportunity to boost your grades by winning mini-games. The first player to turn all their bad grades into an A+ wins the game.
The youngest player spins first. If the arrow lands on a minigame space, the player can play that minigame. If they win that game on their turn, they earn an A+. If the arrow lands on a non-minigame space, the player must follow the instructions on that space.
If the arrow lands on a minigame that you've already played and won, you must give up your turn.
Each minigame has its own set of rules. Some cards must be drawn by the person to your right, so watch out for this symbol. Alright, time to spin. Party questions. Pick up a card from the Party Questions deck. This is a solo challenge and it's super simple. Read the question out loud, then answer it honestly to earn your A+. If you don't want to answer it, simply discard the card. Your turn has now ended.
To make things interesting, if another player can prove that you're not answering honestly, or that you have another story that's better that you're not sharing, they can speak up and share it. If they do, you do not earn your A+ grade.
Time for the next player to spin. If you land on life or death, the player to your right draws a card from the life or death pile. This minigame tests how well you know the player to your right. The life or death card contains a would you rather type of question about the person reading the card.
If your friends are like mine and you're playing with a competitive group, feel free to ask the host to lock in their answer before you guess by writing it down behind the report card.
If your spin lands on debate class, draw a card from the debate class pile. The topic found on the back of the card will be your debate topic. Flip the debate token to see if you'll be for or against the topic. Then, pick a player to be your opponent. This player will have to argue the opposite stance, and they get to start. Players each have up to 60 seconds to plead their case to the remaining players. No time to think, start and go. If you win, you've earned an A+. If the other player wins, they can't earn a grade, only the satisfaction of stopping you from winning yours. In the event of a tie, grab the token, flip it, and let it reveal the winner, for or against. If your spin lands on mismatch, every player draws a card from the mismatch pile. Each card has exactly 1 matching fashion item with any other card in the deck. When you're ready, shout, "Ready, set, go." The moment one player finds a matching item with another player's card, they must shout out the item and quickly place their card on top of the other player's card who has that item in common. Cardigan. If it was your turn and you are the first to be cleared from the game, you've earned your A+.
The first player to turn all their bad grades into an A+ wins the game. All other players must take a photo with the Clueless pen and post it to their individual social media accounts with the hashtags I'm Clueless and Clueless the game.
Alright, let's open this up. See what we got in here. We got the spinner, and with the background, we got a photo collage of some stills from the film, including a tiny shot of the poster, and of course, Cher Horowitz's signature line, "Ugh as if." We have here the instruction manual. Granted, you already saw the gameplay demonstration vid from Wilder Toys, so it wouldn't make sense to tell you about this, but it does make sense to read it upon first glance, so that you can have a better understanding of how to play the game. So here we have the minigame cards, such as Mismatch. We also have here Debate Class, Party Questions, and Life or Death. We also have here the For or Against token, whether you're for a topic or against one. And we have here the report cards. A couple seats worth have already been used. I wonder, did somebody use the missing Clueless pen to write on these cards? Because whoever previously owned this withheld the Clueless pen. We don't have the Clueless pen. That stinks. I mean, the Clueless party game without that pen, that pink, fluffy at the top pen, is kind of like the Office Space game without Milton's red stapler. You can still play this, but you'll have to compensate for the lost item by finding a pen that's equally as funky as the Clueless pen. Just like I have to compensate by utilizing a stapler that I have around my house in lieu of Milton's red stapler. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link my review of the Office Space game in the description below so that you can check out the video. Let's take a look at some of the cards here. Mismatch. So here we have a collection of Cher's wardrobe components. You have to find one component of her wardrobe that matches to another mismatched card. Debate Class. Whether you're for or against divorcing because you aren't in love. That's kind of a bum deal. How about another one? A more lighthearted one. At random. Blind dates. Oh yeah, blind dates! I'm so for this! And speaking of blind dates, you wanna know what else I'm for?
Greetings, date fans. I'm Roger Lodge, and welcome once again to Blind Date, where we totally make up what our daters are thinking because, hey, someone's got to do it.
Roger Lodge is the man! That was one of my favorite parts of the 90s, even though I was born in 1998. I'm so for blind dates. For it. Full stop. Alright. Let's put this card over here and move on to, party questions. The Valley Party. Here you can share one of your Voice Digest outfits at the stories. Oh dear. There's a bit of a lamentful one. How about another one? What's something you regret saying to someone else or about someone else? Nah, man. I want something a little more lighthearted. This is a party question. It should maintain that party vibe. What's a good deed you've recently done that you deserve to brag about? You know what? I think I'll leave it at that. I think for all you Clueless fans out there can be no greater deed than helping you save some money on Clueless merchandise. Barring the DVD, because I'm not really a big Clueless fan. But if you request it in the comments section, I'll take a gander at it if I see it. What's your most embarrassing driving story? I think I'm liking the party questions section a lot here. When was the last time you freaked out and what was it about? Come on. One more. What's the craziest accident/mishap you've seen happen at a party? So now you know the categories of cards here. And hopefully you find a complete copy of the game with the Clueless pen. I mean, I don't know if you can actually write with that pen or not, but I don't really think you'll need it. I think it's just for show, and it's only for the losers. So, maybe it's not totally required, but granted, it would have made this game totally 5 out of 5. Instead, it's just 4 out of 5. Regardless, take a spin down memory lane to relive your favorite Clueless moments, answer super personal questions, bond with friends, and so much more. Compete to be the first player to win each fun and silly minigame, earning A pluses along the way. But be careful, there might be some moments that will leave you saying, "Get it?" along the way. Components: 150 cards in all, a spinner board, a report card notepad, a debate token, and the missing fluffy pen. But even without the fluffy pen, I still say this is wildly wicked. And by the way, you don't actually need to be a Clueless fan to play. It doesn't matter whether you are clueless about Clueless like I am, or whether you continue to share the love. Anyone can play, because everyone loves revisiting their high school years, especially in the 90s. So if you want to get in on this fun, whatever it takes, you need to get this, because this has almost all the makings of a modern classic. By the way, if you think that was the last you would ever hear of Alicia Silverstone on my channel, no way, because I have a book, The Kind Mama, which I'll save for Mother's Day. I honestly don't know why I bought it, but I'm always up for a challenge. Y'all know I'm so not clueless about secondhand shopping with a Tinseltown touch. Thanks for watching TSR. Now, to see another awesome review like this one, click here. If you want to become a Hollywood bargain hunter, click here to subscribe. Now catch you on the thrift side.